there we go, right? Welcome to the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show right here. Streaming live on YouTube, all right? And we also streaming live on Facebook. And I'm your host, Mean Gene Sports Machine. The show is brought to you by Tom's Watch Bar, Las Vegas. Tom's Watch Bar defines the ultimate sports watching entertainment experience conveniently located on the Vegas Strip inside the New York casino. Tonight, I am joined by the one and only. He is the host of the Coach's Quarters podcast, and that would be Jacob Meadows. What's up, Jacob?
What it do, Gene? I'm excited for this show. We were talking off stage or off mic prior to the show going live, and these are the hardest. One of these divisions, the hardest division for me to pick in all of NFL football this season. So I am stoked for this show. Gonna miss Dustin. Shout out to Dustin Pfeiffer.
Well, look here. We don't feel bad for Dustin.
Not at all.
Because as a matter of fact, I'm looking for him here on my TV. Dustin Pfeiffer is at the Pittsburgh Steelers Carolina Panthers preseason game tonight there at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. So he took his son Blake to the game, and Blake looked all the part. Just unfortunately he's wearing that Panthers jersey, and I'm sure he's forced to by his father, right?
It's got to be, yeah. Dustin's sitting there yelling at him while he's in there. Put the Panthers jersey on.
Yeah, but I know, just like any other kid, he's like, man, but that other team looks so good in that black and gold. But anyway, so yeah, Dustin's not with us tonight, but he did give us his picks and stuff as far as what we're going to be talking about tonight, because it is the final week. I'm sorry, it is
second to last.
It's almost, well, no, it is the final week of the NFL preseason.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I actually meant to say. So we can expect all 32 teams to prepare for their final games before the regular season kickoff, which, by the way, is on Thursday, September 4th. Write that down, folks. Thursday, September 4th, between the Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys. That game is going to be in Philly. And you know what sucks about this game, Jacob, is that the Cowboys will have to watch the Eagles hang up their championship banner.
Oh, it's going to be the closest that they've gotten to a Super Bowl in a long time watching
that. Sucks, man. That just really sucks. Okay, so do not miss that. And hopefully Michael Parsons will be signed by then. We'll give you the latest that we have on Michael Parsons. But anyway, tonight we continue to look at every division in the NFL. We've already discussed the AFC East and the AFC North. And tonight is going to be in the NFC South and the NFC North, Jacob. And I know, man, you're already ready, right?
I'm so ready, Gene. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, and we've got tons of good info for this. These are two fun divisions. One of them's less good than the other, but they are fun divisions.
They are. And look, I just want to remind everyone, next week we're in Las Vegas. Woo! We're in Las Vegas at Tom's Watch Bar. And let me tell you, we heard from them today. They are excited. They're getting ready for it. So we're going to be there for our Sports Kings fantasy football draft. And we're also going to complete the final two divisions in our countdown to the season here. That's going to be the NFC East and the NFC West, along with our predictions for the playoffs. But look, man, if you're going to be in Vegas next Thursday, okay, that's next Thursday. What is that? That's August 28th, right? Because Jacob, you make sure I got that right. So
shout out to
come out there. We're gonna do that show. We're gonna do our fantasy football show. You know what? We did one out there years ago. Remember when we were at Virgin Hotels? That worked out pretty good. But man, I'm looking forward to that.
That was the year I won the league, I'm pretty sure. That the Vegas live show was good for me. Pretty sure I won that season.
Yeah. I thought about banning you this year as the commissioner, but I couldn't because I needed you to complete the league.
Exactly right. Hey, I'll take what I can get.
So anyway, 2 games tonight, two NFL preseason games tonight, Steelers and Panthers. And I don't have a score. It doesn't really matter, but I think the Steelers are up 19-10. Okay. 19-10. In the fourth quarter, I do believe. And the other game is it's about to go into halftime that is the Patriots and the Giants. And wow, I think I just what is that score? It was 14-10, I believe. I think.
That one's not coming through on the YouTube TV. Plug for YouTube TV.
Getting ready to go to halftime. The news out of that though is Jackson Dart was hurt and
Mhm.
he went out the game, and in comes famous Jameis Winston. Did we talk about famous Jameis like not too long ago? I recall having a conversation with someone about famous Jameis. But anyway, he comes right in relief like a good pitcher, right?
Mhm.
And throws a touchdown, and just everyone's excited there in New York.
It was cool because it was an explosive play. It was Jalen Hyatt that caught the touchdown. You know, he had a lot of hype coming around him coming into the league. He hasn't had anything consistent at quarterback since he was drafted. And then Jameis just drops a bomb on him on his first play in, and it was beautiful. Jameis is a national treasure, right? That dude should
He
be able to
is.
be a. He needs to be a broadcaster when he retires. He is the most
Oh,
fun personality.
he is the ultimate hype man
Hmm.
also. And yeah, you're right. They absolutely love him there, wherever he goes. And it's just fun to see him still get out on the football field. So look, as we do each and every week on the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show, we like to tell everyone to look here. You know, we had a great week. We put some content out there, and you know what we need you to do? We need you to get the word out, let folks know that, hey, there's a damn good weekly football show. These guys are not biased, at least some of us, right?
A
They
little bit.
will a little bit when it comes to our teams because we're fans too, right? So
We are.
just let them know, hey, look, the best way that you can get this information is to subscribe. When you subscribe to the Sports King show, the NFL Weekly Countdown show, you always know when we're going to be on. You get our shorts when we put those out there, but you like, you share, you leave comments, you do all of that stuff, whatever you want to do. And look here, you know what, Bobby Hitman is on, right? We got to give a shout out to Bobby, right?
Raiders.
Yeah. He did the Raiders. He um he's on every week. So look, you got to join Bobby because we love to see your comments, which we could always put here on the show, right here on the air, and we'd just like to know what you think. I mean, it's a great show, and oh yeah, there you go. I think there's Bobby. Yeah,
There's Bobby.
yeah,
Thank
there's
you,
Bobby.
dude.
We got Bobby's gonna get his credit every time. Okay, um, he's in the house. So look, how about we jump into some breaking news because there's always some stuff out there, Jacob, that we need to talk about. And if you're a Buccaneers fan, you may not be, you might want to listen to what we have to say
Mhm.
about this one because this is not good. Chris Godwin, it appears, Jacob, he's going to be out for a while.
God, yeah, I read the article and it's good and it's bad, right? So he's being activated off the pup list, which is great. That's progress. It's moving in the right direction. But he's not going to play for a couple months. Earliest projections October. So that sucks. It does give the green light for Ibuka, right? Is that how you say it? Cat out of Ohio
Yeah,
State.
from Ohio State. Yeah,
Hmm.
it does. It really does because, as you know, that kid is actually. I mean, he was good. He was good with Ohio State, and look, I know they also have Mike Evans, but Mike Evans is always good in the end zone. And maybe some long downhill passes. But man, you're gonna need someone who can do exactly what Godwin was doing because they kind of use him as a slot receiver. Am I right?
They do. Yeah, you need somebody that can eat in the short and intermediate route areas. And I mean, Mike Evans, like you said, he's usually a downfield threat. He runs the curls, he runs the outs, but he is primarily used as a downfield threat and to open up the field there on the short and intermediate areas. So you need somebody to step in that can run the drags, the slants, the zigs, those kind of routes to really open up the game plan. I do think that Tampa relies more on their run game early on.
Well, and that's why they got a guy like Bucky Irvin. But I tell you what, Jacob, I can remember last October when that injury happened to Chris Godwin. It was in October when he
Hmm.
broke his ankle. And look, he won't be practicing with the Buccaneers until week 2. So just imagine he won't even start practicing. And then I'm thinking it's going to be a while. I mean, we could be looking at what, week
5, 6.
5, 6,
Yeah.
yeah, before he even get on the field. So it's gonna be a while. And what a blow to the Buccaneers.
Agreed. At least he's a couple year veteran. He's been around quite a while. He's 29 years old now. He's done the do. So he doesn't need that extra time to establish chemistry with Baker. It will kind of be plug and play once he comes back. The big thing will be getting back up into game shape so that he's ready to do all that he can do.
Yeah, and other news, and look, this was like shocking news, and it's not really being talked about a whole lot. And I don't know why this information was held until basically yesterday. I think the story broke. But anyway, this is an Associated Press story here. A bullet was fired into Kansas City Chiefs coach Andy Reid's office at the team's practice facility. This happened last spring while he was inside. Okay, according to the Kansas City Star. The Star, citing multiple sources, reported Reid was working alone in his office in early May of 2024 when a bullet fired from outside the building broke through the glass and left a hole through the window and the blinds. The bullet actually got lodged in a wall between his bathroom and the entry door to his office. And the team actually, you know what they did, Jacob, is they installed a bulletproof glass soon afterwards. But I mean, this is just crazy. This is crazy, and we all know that the Kansas City Chiefs, they lose the Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles in a blowout fashion. But what the hell? I mean, this is what? This is almost September. This is late August of 2025, and we're over a year and a half almost. We're just not hearing about this.
That's crazy. And then the worst part is, they never caught the shooter. That dude got off free and clear. Never found him. Never did anything with it. It just Andy Reid almost got shot. Like it was just a couple feet away. It's crazy that it wasn't released to the public. But they don't want to make people feel like they can get famous for doing crazy stuff like that.
Well,
so I mean,
true, but it's just hard to believe that. I mean, maybe it was news in Kansas City, but
sure.
Today was actually the first time I heard of it.
Yep.
And
same.
Unreal. So anyway, so we're glad Andy Reid is okay. And I does it sound like a disgruntled Chiefs fan that they didn't win the Super Bowl? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, at that time, wasn't like that. They had the Chiefs have that super fan, right? That robbed that bank.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
the wolf outfit. It could have been him trying to throw the heat off of him. Could have shot him. Like, oh man.
Yeah, just unbelievable. But anyway, we're glad that Andy Reid was not injured. But man, I just couldn't imagine. All right, and lastly, Dallas Cowboy fans, look here. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer appears very confident that Michael Parsons is going to be on the field for week 1, even if he doesn't have a contract extension ironed out. Look, according to Todd Archer from ESPN, Schottenheimer stated that he feels very good that Michael will be out there against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And that'd be huge for Dallas. I will say, I'm pretty sure it was Adam Schefter that just posted it to Twitter like 45, 50 minutes ago. But allegedly, Jerry Jones offered Micah the largest non-quarterback contract in NFL history today. So we'll see what comes of it. Yeah, it could be smoke. But I mean, if that's the case, he'll definitely be on the field week 1. He'll probably be there regardless. Micah Parsons is just an uber competitor. He plays the game he loves. He just happens to get paid for it. So I do think he'll be out there one way or the other, but I mean, he does deserve to get paid. He was first in pass rush win rate. Yeah. I mean, he deserves to get paid.
Now, who did you say reported that story?
Pretty sure it was Shefty. I'm pretty sure Adam Schefter is the one that put it out.
It's pretty much money in the bank then. It's just how much money in the bank is what.
Most lucrative non-quarterback contract. If he beats Myles Garrett, I mean, there's no argument you could make that.
So did Myles Garrett or TJ Watt get the biggest? Who got the biggest?
Pretty sure Myles is sitting at the top right now.
Because it was okay, it was a bigger money over a shorter period of time. Is that how they determine that, so to speak?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. So anyway, that's the news.
Oh, one
And
last one. Just since
yeah,
I'm the Houston Texans fan of the show,
oh,
right?
that's right.
Jimmy Ward is now being sued by the mother of his children, alleging that there was drug use and assault and everything kind of going into that. So it is all alleged, right? Prayers up for Jimmy Ward and the family that was affected. Hopefully, it comes out as not true. It's a really bad thing, bad situation all the way around. He was a really good safety for the Niners. I was really excited for him when he came to Houston, and this would ultimately end his professional career should it come out as true. Um,
I like how you said the mother of his children. I mean, there's another word for that. It's called baby mama, right?
yeah, the article I read said baby mama, so I was just cleaning it up a
So you
little bit.
cleaned it up for the Sports King show, because I'm like the mother of his. I'm like, who the hell is? Oh, baby mama. Okay, all right. That's well. Look, I have to, to see him, in a black and white, like what looks like a prison suit, was just not
Mhm,
good at all. You just hate to see. I mean, the guy goes out there and it looks like he's having so much freaking fun when
mhm.
he's on the field, but it's like the moment some of these guys get out of their uniforms and get into the, regular clothes and nightlife, and just all hell breaks loose, man. But damn, you
Personal
wish.
lives fall apart.
It's crazy, and to throw away this kind of money, because then not only comes the whatever judicial punishment he gets, then the NFL, is going to tack on a little bit
Mhm.
more, and then it just hurts the damn team.
Yep.
Something that this team doesn't need.
That it
Um,
is unfortunate. It's the safety position too, which I talked about on our AFC South show. We're fine without him, more or less. But I mean, Jimmy Ward's a damn good football player. At the end of the
yeah.
day, Jimmy Ward can play free safety as well as anybody, and it no matter how you spin it, it's a hit.
It is. It's gonna hurt. Even though I got the Texans defense doing pretty good, but yeah, you just don't like to hear stuff like that. Well, look, how about we jump into the NFC South? We start with the South tonight because Dustin is hanging out with the Steelers and the Panthers, and he did give us his
Predictions.
picks, his
Mhm.
predictions, though. But what a division, though, because look, just real quick before look, we got the Buccaneers who won the division. You got the Falcons who expectations have been high over the last couple of years. They fired their coach. They bring in Raheem Morris, and they got a new quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Then you got the Saints, who, man, I tell you, I don't know. The Saints are just going through a whole lot post Derek Carr, post Sean Payton.
Mhm. They're the
you
Aints
know,
again. The Aints are back. I remember
well,
when they
I
were
hope,
called
I
the
hope,
Aints back in
I
the
hope it
day.
never gets to that point again,
Man,
because it was really bad. And then, of course, you have the Carolina Panthers, who, uh, I mean, look, those fans never give up on that team. And I remember when the Panthers were an expansion team that got to the
mhm.
Super Bowl fairly early as an expansion team. Was that Tom Coughlin back then? I believe.
Was it Tom Coughlin?
I want to say, if it wasn't, no, it wasn't Coughlin. I can't remember the coach's name, but at one time they were very, very relevant.
Hmm.
And but now it's um, Bryce
Young.
Young, and
Mhm.
of course, they still have high expectations, and I'll let you know who that coach was.
I have a
Um,
feeling relevancy is in their trajectory now. I think Carolina, they're improving year by year, and Carolina may actually be good again sooner rather than later.
Well, look, those fans would definitely, uh, they would want that to be the case. Look, I remember the year. Um, was it the year that I think they went 15-1? Do you remember that?
I do. Yep. That was
Yeah,
Cam Newton, right?
yeah, 15-1, and of course they just happened to, run into. Okay, so they won a division round. I think they beat the Seahawks. Then they went to the NFC Championship game and they just beat the hell out of the Arizona Cardinals. Of
Mhm.
course, they lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That was 2015. That was 10 years ago.
It's crazy to think. It
10 years
feels
ago.
feels like it was 4 or 5 years ago, give or take. We're getting old, Gene. You more than me,
Yeah.
but we're getting old, Gene.
Well, look, I remember Dustin. We did a show in Las Vegas, and Dustin came on. We did our predictions and everything, and of course, Dustin, being a homer, he says, "Hey, man, I got these guys. I got the Panthers, and you know, I went with the Broncos that
Mhm.
year, but it was a crazy game. The Broncos, Peyton Manning. I mean, they was just ready to win that Super Bowl. So there was nothing that they could do now. But they haven't done anything since then. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So the last 4 years, the division champs have been the Buccaneers. Um, the Saints owned that division
Yep.
from 2017 to 2020, of course, and they and once Sean Payton left, then it's been all thanks to Tom Brady for coming
Yeah,
in
Brady
there.
comes in and changes the Buccaneers around.
just
Yeah.
just changes everything. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, this is we can go back and we can look at what happened last year in that division, and which will kind of help us, um, get into what's going to happen this year. So Tampa Bay wins the division, Atlanta 8-9, Carolina 5-12, and the Saints 5-12. So just hard to believe that both of those teams finished dead last. They're pretty much tied for dead last. So Jacob, I don't know. Let's start with the Panthers because uh, look, Bryce Young, they gave him a second chance. What happened to Bryce Young could have just went completely south, man. When they benched him for poor
Andy
performance
Dalton.
for
Yeah.
Andy Dalton, that thing could have just went sour. And I was already saying, oh my God, I think this guy could be. He probably played his last game for Carolina.
Yeah, I have to agree, but it really it shows his maturity, right? Like that took a lot to be the first round pick or first overall first round pick to get benched for Andy Dalton, have to sit, learn, and then come back in. He took it on the chin, and he has gotten better ever since he came back from that benching. He has done nothing but get better. And this Carolina team, man, they are not going to be a 5-win team this year without a shadow of a doubt. I'd put every penny in my bank account on the fact that they are not going to be a 5-win team this year. They will be improved.
Yeah, because every year in the NFL, Jacob, teams drop off, and
Mhm.
I don't. We just talked about Chris Godwin, and we talked about, I don't want to say that the Buccaneers run is probably gonna drop off this year. I don't want to say that just yet, but if it does, then certainly that gives, you know, opportunity for Carolina to do a little bit better in that. And I think Bryce Young coming in a little bit more confidence. I haven't seen much of him in the preseason. I don't know how much he's played,
Not much.
but they got some quality players on that team that should be able to help them maybe get 7 or 8 games would be an improvement from last year.
Correct. And I have to add this. I've got an asterisk next to him in all of my predictions. Carolina out of the NFC, Carolina is my dark horse wild card team. Like that
Really?
is they are a team that I think they could go on a run with the amount of talent that is kind of dispersed from the NFC, the turmoil that some of these teams are experiencing. I think Carolina could come in and steal a wild card seat out from under everybody. Now, it's not going to be easy for you to tell that when I give you my predictions on the standings, but I think I have an asterisk next to Carolina. I have high hopes for them, and quite frankly, they with their easy
Yeah,
strength
now
of
that would
schedule.
help.
Yeah,
That would help.
they could do it, and like they've looked good today, and they look good against Pittsburgh's ones. They either lost or are going to lose, but against Pittsburgh's ones. Carolina looked good. And they have some talent, have a lot of speed. Their offensive line looks better. Their defense is hungry. Shout out Dustin. I'm here. I'm here pulling your weight on the Panthers today. I'm high on the Panthers.
Yeah, because look, in 2022 they were 7-10. Then 2023 they dropped to 2-15, and which um, was sort of expected, and
Mhm.
then they find a way to get a couple of more wins. So I could see them improving somewhat this year, and like I said, if they can get maybe wins, 8, 9 wins, and that certainly is going to depend on the Falcons and um, the Buccaneers if they drop off a little bit. But yeah, I mean it's tough. If not, then hey, it's another good draft pick.
Yeah, no kidding. And then, I have them. I think 9 wins is going to be kind of
That's gonna be tough though.
it.
Um,
It will. This division could send three teams to the playoff, and that's going to be the closest thing to an ESPN hot take you're going to get out of me tonight. In a
you
crazy
get
alternate
3
dimension,
teams in the playoffs from the NFC South. Are you kidding me?
you could get 3 NFC South teams after being the worst division in football
Where
last year. You could
where
get 3 of them in the playoffs
where's the
somehow.
HR director at? Because
Yeah.
we're gonna have to start giving urine samples, man, because that's some crazy stuff right there. But look, I don't know. It's just going to be a rough year, but you want to see Bryce Young grow, and
Yes.
I think that they're probably being as patient as they can with him, especially at not benching him and then watching him come back. He's gonna have to do something to help that team. He's gonna have to just take the team under his wings and push for maybe those 3 or 4 more wins. All
For
right, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk about the Falcons because the Falcons were doing something at one time
hmm
with Arthur Smith, but they didn't let him finish doing it. They fired him. They were impatient. And, a lot of people could say, well, maybe Kirk Cousins had something to do with him being fired. I don't know.
Maybe.
Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. You get the good, bad, and ugly of Kirk Cousins. But the Falcons decided to just make a change altogether. We're going to get rid of Cousins. And of course, he was shocked when they drafted Michael Penix, right? I think everyone
We
was
all were.
we were a little shocked there, but that was the writing on the wall, right?
Correct.
And then how about before that? They bring in one of the best tight ends that came out of college football a couple of years ago, in Kyle Pitts, which
Yeah.
just didn't work out for nothing. And what they have Drake London, so they actually have players, and of course now they got the probably the #1 fantasy football running back going into 2025 and be John Robinson.
Yeah, Atlanta could be good. Captain Kirk or Kirk Cousins, Captain Kirk has taken that like mentor role on as the QB2,
Hmm.
right? He's
Hmm.
been helping the wide receivers, he's been helping Penix. Penix was a stud at Washington, he was good at Indiana, and the incarnate no, Cam Ward was the incarnate word. Everywhere Penix has been outside of Washington and Indiana, he was good, right? He was better for those schools, but he was good. And Kyle Pitts, the chemistry has seemed to be there in camp. If we could finally see the emergence of Kyle Pitts, you have Darnell Mooney and Drake London at receiver. The offensive line was beefed up. They overspent in free agency and the draft on
Hmm.
defensive line,
Hmm.
completely redid their defensive front seven. So this could be an Atlanta team. Like you said, they have Bijan Robinson, who is the quote unquote 1 or 2 best back, depending on if you believe in the Madden curse and don't want to take Barkley with the first running back pick. So I mean they have all the talent, and this is kind of one of the reasons I said that we, in a weird reality, right, we could see 3 teams from this division go into the playoffs, because in theory, on paper, Atlanta could make a run. This could be the best Atlanta team that we've seen since prime Matt Ryan. And it on paper, it's possible. They
It
have
is.
the talent.
It is possible. Look, 4-2 in the division last year, which uh, 2 more wins, and they're fighting with Tampa Bay there for the division title.
Mhm.
So their conference records were damn near identical. One game. Uh, they are the second best team in the NFC South. If we
Agreed.
if we just go by last year's numbers, And I think, look, Raheem Morris is a good guy, and I'm so glad to see he's gotten that opportunity. And I think he has something there. This is going to be the year. If Tampa Bay is going to fall, then Atlanta's not going to let Carolina or New Orleans, just jump up and take the ham. Atlanta's knocking on the door.
They're gonna
And
fight. Yeah.
they're going to fight. And I think Atlanta has a good opportunity to win this division, because I had them winning this division last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're gonna do well. I haven't seen their schedule, but I think they're gonna do well.
I have to agree. I think that they are going to. I think they are going to have a better year than last year as well. I'm high on the South, the AFC and NFC. I think the South is gonna be good again.
I think it's gonna be good again. So look here, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a quick break here, because we definitely have to acknowledge our sponsor here, and when we come back, we will finish out the NFC South before we go into the NFC North, which is going to be fun. So stick around. It's the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show. Tonight is Mean Gene and Jacob Meadows here, so we'll be right back.
Tom's Watch Bar, Las Vegas, defines the ultimate sports watching entertainment experience. Our central oversized stadium screen, surrounded by hundreds of high-definition screens, provides 360-degree viewing, making every seat at Tom's the best seat in the house. Tom's is the perfect place for fans to cheer with other fans, follow their fantasy players, and follow any sports bet. We can't wait to see you soon.
If you're planning to be in Las Vegas on Thursday, August 28th, make sure you check out the Sports Kings NFL Fantasy Football Show at Tom's Watch Bar. Tom's Watch Bar is located at 3790 South Las Vegas Boulevard in Las Vegas. The show starts at 3 p.m. Come join us.
All right, we are back here. Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show. Mean Gene and Jacob Meadows here, and man, we are so excited about next week. And we definitely want you to come out if you can. If you're going to be in Las Vegas, okay. But you know what? You don't really have to be in Las Vegas, because we are going to bring it to you, right, Jacob? We're going to be live here on YouTube and our Facebook page, so you can be right there with us, okay? And
Yes, sir.
give us some gambling tips. What you're a blackjack guy, Jacob?
I am a blackjack guy. Yeah, I like blackjack, and I like watching you play literally every other game, because all you do is win, and I lose all my money when I play with you.
Hey! Look now, I just play roulette, which is a fun game.
You're good at
You
it.
know,
It's ridiculous. It's not a game of chance when you play.
it's fun though, and what we try to do is we bet less to win more.
Mm-hmm.
And you start out with $5, and you can walk away with 1,000. I think that's a pretty good night.
You can. Yeah. But shout out to Mr. Picks too, because watching you guys was so frustrating, because y'all would turn 5 into 1,000, and I'd bet 5 and I'd lose 5 18 separate times.
Well, look, but look, people, if you're gonna gamble, do it responsibly. But here's the thing: Jacob would tell you it's luck. There's no method of madness.
Yep.
It's having some Crown Royal and then put it on red, right?
Exactly right.
All right, we're looking at the NFC South here as part of our countdown to the 2025 NFL season. All 8 divisions, we have covered them all tonight. NFC South, NFC North. I think we just finished up. Well, we talked about the Atlanta Falcons, and now we are going to talk about the New Orleans Saints. Now, I know a lot of Saints fans. Okay, there are quite a few Saints fans out there, and for a long time they had a whole lot to cheer about. But that's not the case now, Jacob, because things have changed. Coaching since Sean Payton has just been tough. Dennis Allen replaced Sean Payton, right? And they have fired Dennis Allen. Who's the coach now?
It's the old Kellen Moore. It's Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. So Kellen Moore comes over as the former offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. So he stays in the
Philadelphia Eagles. He was with
Oh,
the
that's right.
Eagles.
That's right.
Yeah.
He left,
Super Bowl
but
run.
he was with the Cowboys.
He was with the Cowboys.
Then he
and
went
then
to
was
the
with
Eagles. You're absolutely right. So
Correct.
I just automatically promoted him to, yeah, he did. So he went to the Eagles, and now he is the
Saints
a
head
lot of
coach.
people don't talk about that. The Eagles losing that type of brain set, just like the Detroit Lions we'll talk about here a little bit later, losing that brain set.
Correct.
So is this Moore's first year?
It is. It's Kellen Moore's first year
Yeah.
as a head coach ever. And it was one of the only bright spots in New Orleans offseason was bringing in
Yeah,
Houston.
man, he's got his hands full though. He's got his
Correct.
hands full. So he's got a team that, look, they managed to get 5 wins. Okay. Not good in the division because you know those losses probably came to Tampa Bay and Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they beat Carolina or not, but that would have probably been a boring game since both of those teams were 5-12 last year. But I don't know, man. The Saints, oh my goodness. I think Derek Carr left them in a pretty crappy situation there. And they drafted some young quarterbacks. And I don't know. What's your take on the Saints?
Well, they drafted Tyler Show. I think
Yeah.
that's how you pronounce his last name. And I
Yeah.
believe the 3rd round. He's probably going to be the starter. I would pick him over Spencer Rattler. He has shown more here in camp and in
Yeah.
the preseason.
Yeah,
But
Rattler just hasn't looked. I mean, I don't know. These guys are given these opportunities. They just don't make the best of them. So yeah,
this isn't
Tyler Show, his name has been mentioned a lot here over the last couple of weeks.
this isn't really a situation I think he's going to be able to capitalize, right? Where they're wasting a year of Alvin Kamara. I think Saints fans are going to have to pull the brown bags out and start cutting eye holes in them soon. Like it's going to be a bad season. I think the Aints are going to be back. I'm not high on New Orleans. I think they have a worse season than 5 wins.
I mean, look, you
it's gonna be
cannot
bad.
expect Alvin Kamara to continue to perform at a very high level. He's done it even with last year, the year before. I mean, he exceeded expectations, until he got hurt, right? And but yeah, I think it's going to be a down year. As a matter of fact, man, I don't know. I'm having a hard time, and I know I have it on my paper here, deciding who's going to finish last in this division because technically the Saints did finish last year,
Correct.
and it looks like they're going to do it again.
I have to agree. I think they are going to finish last, and it's a bad look, right? Because there's talent in New Orleans. There is talent. It sucks. Like again, I have thought AK was going to have a downturn in production for the last 2 years, and Kamara is he is stronger than Father Time. Dude's
Yeah.
fantastic running back. He's a very good receiver. He's the best receiving back in the NFL. He's good at what he does. And then you have Chris Olave, who's 1 concussion away from being Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
And it's rough. They had Rashid Shaheed comes back. That's a bright spot. He was hurt last year. And
but you got to have a quarterback that can give these guys the ball.
If Show can get that ball downfield, they'll have a deep threat again, and they could be okay. But that's as good as they're going to be.
A young quarterback, so it's going to be a long season for the New Orleans Saints. And you know what, Jacob? That's why. And I'm going to give you my finish here in the NFC South, so we can move on to the NFC North. I got Tampa Bay, finishing first. I got Atlanta second place. I have Carolina over New Orleans. I would like to give Carolina 8 wins, but the Saints could actually fall back. They might struggle to win 5. Yeah.
Yep. 2-3 wins this season.
Yeah. So, all right, that's the NFC South, and let's talk about the one that everybody, this one is going to be good because look, and this division here, the NFC North, could produce one of the participants in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that's just the way I feel about the NFC North. We got Green Bay. Start with Green Bay there. Jordan Love. I mean, these guys just continue to Matt LaFleur just continues to do a great job. So fortunate to have inherited a quarterback like Jordan Love, and I think the Packers continue on to great things. You got the Minnesota Vikings. I tell you, O'Connell is one of those coaches that regardless of who's at quarterback, last year Sam Darnold gets some 14 wins. This year it's JJ McCarthy. So we'll see. We'll see if it's the coach, if it's Kevin O'Connell, right?
Yeah, Kevin
If
O'Connell.
it's Kevin O'Connell or was it Sam Darnold? We'll find out this year, right? We're gonna find out if he can work his magic with JJ McCarthy, who's basically is going to this is a rookie season for him because he didn't get to play last year because he got hurt. Then you have the Chicago Bears, who, man, they get Coach Johnson there. He comes over from the Detroit Lions. He's an offensive-minded guy. He's going to be working with Caleb Williams, and Chicago looked pretty good in that preseason game the other night. Defense, anyway, the defense might the Monsters of Midway. Could it be a repeat of the Monsters of Midway? So we will see. And then you got the Detroit Lions here, who, let me tell you, man, they just setbacks. San Francisco, NFC Championship game, right?
Yep.
And good Lord, they didn't even get there. They lose.
It was bad.
It was horrible. I mean, it was the worst thing that no one saw it coming. And this is with Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen this year? You got two coordinators. One was promoted up. One used to coach there and then came back. So it's going to be interesting to see. So who you want to start with? You want to start with the Vikings?
Yeah, let's start with the Vikings. That's a good one.
Yeah, I want to start with the Vikings because, look, I'll tell you what, man, it is hard to win 14 games.
Agreed.
It's hard. And I'm trying to bring this up on the screen here as we talk about this. And that's exactly what happened last year.
And they did it
with Sam Darnold.
Correct. They did it, and they did it well. Sam Darnold looked really good. He was on the MVP board for a while. Like, that was they played well.
Yeah, and let me say this: 3 teams made it to the playoffs from this division. Detroit 15-2, Minnesota 14-3, and Green Bay got in at 11-6. And I think this year it could be a whole lot even tougher. But Minnesota. My mind is on Minnesota because I tell you what, you make the decision to let Sam Darnold go. Now, look, the Rams exceeded expectations. I think the Rams could have forced any quarterback. Look, they almost beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
If it weren't for a blizzard, they were a blizzard away from a Super Bowl berth.
So
man.
I don't know. I mean, and everyone was almost like waiting for Sam Darnold to screw up in the game. And I mean, man, 14 wins is hard to come by. Good luck getting 14 wins out of JJ McCarthy, who has to, build this rapport on the field with they don't have who is it, Jordan Addison? He's out. He's going to be hurt, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
so I mean, to start anyway.
He's suspended, I'm pretty sure, but he's out the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah. So he's going to be out. So I mean, I don't know. I just think they should have kept Sam Darnold. I just hate to see a team throw away 14 wins like that. Look, I was in Dallas 2018 when Sam Darnold was drafted and Saquon Barkley was drafted. I interviewed both of those guys. And you couldn't have told me then, talking to Saquon Barkley, that he was going to be a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles. And I didn't know that Sam Darnold would have the career that he ended up having, being bounced around from the 49ers, or where he went to the Panthers,
the Jets,
he went to the Jets, and then he gets into Minnesota and finds happiness, right? I just don't know, Jacob. It's just going to be hard. I think the Vikings take a setback. This year, I just don't know what this kid is going to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that they win 14 games this year. I can't say that I don't believe in McCarthy. Everything that I've seen him do, everything that the coaches say about him, do I think that they win 14 games? No. Do I think that they're more than likely going to earn another playoff berth? Yes. I do think that McCarthy's going to lead them to 10 or 11 wins, and I think that he is going to be better than most people think. It's not the same as coming in as a rookie. It's not. He
Mhm,
was already
mhm.
he was already with the team, right? He has the
Mhm.
trust from most of these guys. They know him. They know his tendencies, right? This is the first time that they're getting to play with him on the field. However, they know who he is. He learned directly from Sam Darnold on his MVP run of a season, right? So I think this is going to boil down to it's going to kind of be a Kyle Shanahan situation. I think it's Kevin O'Connell's system. I think that he
Yeah.
has done a good job turning this team around. I think McCarthy's going to look very similar to Darnold, maybe
Okay.
have more hiccups, but I think that this is going to be, for all intents and purposes, the same team that we saw last year.
But Jacob, you know how much I love rookie quarterbacks. I'm on defense, man. I cannot wait, you know, to to see these guys run for their lives because that's what's going to happen. And
Yeah,
he's got to survive his own division before he gets out, to the outside world. Detroit is not going to be easy. The
no.
Bears, I think, are going to have a good defense. I really do. And we haven't even talked about the Packers yet. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you said 11 wins, right?
10-11.
T-
I
t-
think
t-
they're capable of it.
10 is probably where I'm gonna say, and the I don't know if three teams make it out of this division this year. Um, but losing four games like that, four wins, that could hurt them. That could put them in a wild card, or it could put them completely out of the playoffs. Because let's talk about the Green Bay Packers here, who finished 11. What was that? 11-6 last year,
11-6.
and they went 1-5 in the division. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, they got feasted upon by their own
They
division.
barely got in there, man. So and that's how tough this NFC North is. Look, you got to look. Only Detroit swept that division. Minnesota did well. And Green Bay just like, man, the hell with the division. Let's just get 11 damn
Win the
wins.
rest of them. Yeah. We don't
Let's
need
just,
these.
let's just get 11 wins and hope. And look, and look, and it worked out to their favor because you need other teams to suck in the NFC for you to get that opening,
Mm-hmm.
and they did. So I don't know. Green Bay, I tell you what, I think Green Bay, depending on what these new coordinators are able to do. Look, if they could just come in, plug and play, and Detroit doesn't miss a beat, then Detroit is gonna be in a better position.
Agreed.
But if Detroit falls down, if Detroit is not able to if they really miss Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, we're gonna see it. And I think Green Bay is going to take advantage of it. So Green Bay could win this division.
I agree. And to your testament about Detroit, I don't think Ben Johnson, I don't think they're going to be able to replicate his offense and the offensive output. I think Green Bay probably does take this division. But I think it's going to be a tight knit race. I like Green Bay at the top of the division. I think that they're going to win 13, maybe 14, but I think it's going to be 12, 13 games this season on top of Minnesota's 10-11, right? A couple games higher. But they're not going to go 1-5 in division. They'll go 3-3 or they'll go 4-2. They will look much better in division, which is where you're going to find all of your excess wins that they didn't have last year.
So I'm looking at the NFL Network here, and they just I think they're listening to our show. They just picked the NFC South, and they got Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, and the Saints. What the hell? Are they not copying off of the Sports Kings here?
I love that. Hey, we give good content.
So yeah, I'm like, I just looked up and I'm like, wow, that's exactly what we just said. So, but anyway, no, I think Green Bay has a good opportunity. Let's talk about the Bears right quick because I need to put all of this into context here. So look, man, Ben Johnson is going to implement his offense in Chicago. So, he's going to change it a little bit because Detroit knows this guy in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to, Caleb Williams is going to be able to do a little bit more things physically than Jared Goff. Okay, I think we already know that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ben Johnson is going to utilize this. So far, man, this defense, the defense, and Bears defense has always been, good.
They're known for
even under the Mark Trestman days, the Lovie Smith days. I've spent Man, I had a chance to spend a training camp in Bourbonnais, Illinois, many years ago with the Bears, and that's when Peanut Tillman was still there, and
Sick.
and I think Howie Long's his I think his youngest son was playing there. Uh, but anyway, I think this defense is back. I think the Bears defense is back, and I think that defense is really going to help Caleb Williams. Um, but stay in games. When I think about the Bears, man, I think about that that Washington Commanders game.
Oh yeah, man.
I mean, nobody likes to be remembered by a play like that, but man, if that was not the play of 2024, I don't know what was.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think you're right. Chicago's defense looks insane.
Hmm.
They added Luther, the rookie, the wide receiver rookie.
Yeah, Burton.
Yeah, that one.
Mhm.
He's looked
Yeah.
phenomenal. They
Yeah,
add
yeah.
Loveland at tight end aside
They got
from
some good
Cole
running
Kmet.
backs too.
So I am not high on their run game, and I think that'll be what ends up killing their offense this season. I don't think.
No,
that the
I
run
actually
game-
like the run game. It's
DeAndre
is it
Swift.
Swift is there, and
But
look,
who
he
else?
reunites with his
With
old
Ben
coach
Johnson.
and Ben Johnson. Yeah, so those
Correct.
guys. I mean, you inherited a running back that you designed plays for just a few years ago.
It's
So
fair.
that's got to help. I think that's
just-
going to help the Bears offense.
I just don't think Swift is that good anymore. I think the fall off has begun. I could be wrong, right? It'd be cool to see myself.
Did
be
you
wrong.
draft him on your fantasy a couple of years ago?
He helped my fantasy a couple of years
Well,
ago.
yeah. Well, look, so he's reuniting with his old coach. So I think Ben Johnson had something up his sleeve there for Chicago. This division is going to be tight, man. This is going to be a crazy division because everyone has suffered a loss in a sense, except Green Bay and Chicago. They got I would say Chicago got a gain in Ben Johnson. I would say that Detroit and Minnesota, they suffered a loss as far as losing Sam Darnold and Detroit losing their coordinators. So I think that's why it opens the door for Green Bay to win this division. But I think it also opens the door for Chicago to be better because you got an offensive coordinator that stayed in the division.
Chicago also had arguably the second most productive offseason outside of the New England Patriots. They revamped their offensive line. Their O-line is going to be completely different, and they brought in a lot of big names that can ball. So you really might see Chicago they should have the highest expectations to have a better season than last year. In all of the NFL, Chicago should be voted as number one to exceed what they were capable of last year. I think Ben Johnson's going to be terrific. The defense is going to be terrific. And if DeAndre Swift doesn't suck,
they just don't look like a 5-12 team now.
No.
I don't think Ben Johnson accepted that job to say, man, we just going to do the same as we did last year. We're going to finish 5-12. I don't see that at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so all right, it brings us to the Detroit Lions, who, man, I want to, I rooted for them last year. I think we all did. I think we all wanted to see Detroit get to the Super Bowl because, man, it's just,
they've always sucked.
Yeah, they have, but man, they got good coaching.
Mm-hmm.
They still got the head coach. But I don't know, man. It's just me and Dustin, me and you've talked about that window of opportunity. Because I shut the door on Buffalo, but look where they are now. So
we both did. Don't worry.
I got to be careful about this window of opportunity. I want to say it's still there for the Detroit Lions, but it's just tough because it's still a new. I think was it the defensive coordinator that was moved up, and the offensive coordinator came from the outside.
Correct.
He was there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's an ex-player. He was their linebackers coach. He was promoted to DCO. And that's one of the reasons that I had so many issues predicting how this division would fall, because I don't think Detroit's defense takes a step back at all. They led the league in players on IR last season, most of which was defense. They have an incumbent coming up to become the defensive coordinator. their defense won't miss a step. Their defense will be as good or better than it was last year. The offense is what I'm worried about. They still have all the talent. Jared Goff is there, and I've been the first to criticize him in years past. He's not an athlete. He's many things, but he's not an athlete. But Jared Goff looked great last year. They still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams is still there. You still have David Montgomery and Jamil Gibbs. They have everything. They have everything's returning except for Ben Johnson. Yeah. I just think that creative mind will be missed.
But and this is not a knock on Aaron Glenn with their defense, but man, their defense has really hurt them in these playoff games because look, they lose to the Commanders in that divisional round last year, and it was 45-31. So I mean, that's a lot of points you giving up. And then in that NFC Championship game against the 49ers, they lost 34-31. So they're giving up a lot of points to be a good defense. And I know. Was that the game that Hutchinson got hurt in?
Yeah, Hutch got hurt early in the season.
Yeah. Okay. So he didn't play in that NFC Championship game then.
He was out all season. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like next man up only goes so far, right?
It only goes so far, and even in the wild card game before they got to the NFC Championship game, which they won, but they still gave up 23 points. So they're giving up points to be this great defense, and now you lose that defensive coordinator who was one of the best in the business. And so that's why it worries me. That's why I got Green Bay winning this division. That's not what I have on my paper, but because I do have Detroit. I want to say Detroit just is able to just move right on in there, new coordinators and all, and win. But it's not that easy because Green Bay didn't lose anything.
No, they got better. They got Matthew Golden. Now they have a wide receiver one. Yes, now they can do things
from the Longhorns, right?
Yeah, Texas.
So, I just got to say, I'm going to change my pick here. I'm going to put Green Bay to win this division. I'm going to put Detroit second place, and Minnesota, and then the Bears. But you know what? Even those could flip flop.
Yeah,
even those could flip flop because it's going to be three teams will not make the playoffs in this division. They would be lucky to get two. I think they will get two, but right now I got the Green Bay Packers winning the NFC North.
Now, Gene, our picks were the exact same for the NFC South. With this one, I agree and I disagree, right? So what I have written down: Packers win, Lions second, Vikings third, Bears fourth. I do think that this division produces three playoff teams this season. Again, I think that all three will get in. But it was impossible for me to actually choose. So on paper, right, for purposes of the show, right, everybody, I'm Packers, Lions, Vikings, Bears. In my mind, however, there is a real world chance that the Lions win it. And in the act of insanity, right, with chaos being prevalent, I think Minnesota could win this division. It's going to be one of my dumbest hot takes that I have in the preseason. But quite frankly, I don't think that there's going to be much fall off between Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy. And with Detroit losing their OC, and with Jordan Love being average to above average, just depending on the week, the Packers could shoot themselves in the foot. I don't care how much firepower they have and how consistent they've been. Minnesota could realistically win this division. So in terms of the grand scheme of things, this division's impossible for me to peg down. I think the Packers, Lions, or Vikings could all win it. The only thing that I'm set on is that the Bears are going to be in the cellar. I think that they'll have a much better year, but they're going to be in fourth place in the division. So this is a crazy one. This is the hardest division in all of football for me to guess.
Well, I tell you what, are you ready for Dustin Pfeiffer's picks?
I am. Hit me.
Well, let's go back and get the NFC South picks because he sent me those picks. He's got the Bucs winning. He's got the Panthers second place. He's got the Falcons third place, and he's got the Saints last. So I think we all consistent with the Saints. And Dustin is such a homer.
Oh, well, what I will say
but if they Who knows though? He could be right there that the Panthers could get second place.
Panthers are my dark horse wild card team.
Mhm.
They really could unseat the Falcons.
And his NFC North picks are, he agrees with me, the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Packers first place, the Lions second place, Bears finishing third. He's got the Vikings finishing last. So he obviously agrees with me that they take a setback.
He does not believe in JJ.
Yeah, I just to me, a rookie is a rookie. I know he's a second year, going into the second year, but it's first year on the football field. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, that's it. That's it.
We're all pretty close, at least. I
Yeah.
mean, I believe in Minnesota more than you, a lot more than both of you guys. But I mean, it's hard to argue against them. You still have Justin Jettis. Jordan Addison's only out 3 weeks. He'll be back. Jordan Naylor might learn how to catch a football. Their run game's pretty good. Their defense was good there especially the back half of last year. Their defense was real good. And then Kevin O'Connell's a terrific coach. So
yeah, he is. So we got to give him some credit. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show. Don't forget, next week we will be in Las Vegas at Tom's Watch Bar for our Sports Kings Fantasy Football Show. You got to watch the Fantasy Football Show because it's actually going to be live. We're going to share it on the screen.
Mhm.
You'll be able to see who's picking what and who. You'll be able to hear the jokes. Well, at least from our standpoint. The other guys will be at home drafting. Dennis Sharman's going to be on a plane. He's got an auto pick.
Oh man, that's brutal.
I know. I told him I could not change the time of the draft, so it is what it is. So he's gonna have the auto pick. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the show, and don't forget, folks, man, we need you to go ahead and subscribe to this show.
Subscribe.
Do it, and leave us comments and share it and do all that great stuff. But anyway, I think we're gonna get on out of here. I think it's time to go. I think it's time to go, and we will see you in Las Vegas.
See you in Vegas, baby.
Next week on the Sports Kings NFL Weekly Countdown Show.